What's up, internet? Corey Zamier here, back again with another on the way vlog. Wow. Fucking stuck in traffic this morning. It's gonna be a shitty day at work, and I'm probably gonna be late, which sucks ass. I can't control Hartford traffic at all. Just thinking, been a while since I've done one of these on the way vlogs, and there was something that was on my mind this morning, trying to brainstorm questions for what I would do for my 50 subscriber contest, which is going to be coming up in the next day or so. Hopefully I'm able to get that up tomorrow morning, hopefully. And I'm just kind of brainstorming, because people usually ask a question. I know I'm going to be doing, you get one entry for a comment, you get maybe 2 or 3 entries for a video response to make it, worth the extra effort it takes to do a video response. And I'm just brainstorming questions, and one of them, because I'm thinking of a Halloween themed question, but at the same time, I've never talked about Halloween before on my channel, and I'm not the biggest fan of Halloween. It's just, it's coming up, so it's on my mind, and I'm just thinking how awesome it would be if there were a good Friday the 13th video game, because the only one I could think of that they ever made was the shitty NES title, which you're trying to avoid Jason. I think it would be badass to make a Friday the 13th game where you're playing as Jason. How awesome would that be? Imagine kind of not a super open world, because it'd be a little bit over the top. He doesn't need the biggest environment to kill in. It's usually around a camp, but the size of a campsite, and you're just playing as Jason, stalking these kids, and there could be some kind of game mechanic where you always would know where they are, because there's never a point where Jason just doesn't know where his victims are. They could feel like they're hiding, but he knows where they are. So you'd have some kind of radar that would tell you where they are. And the more of them you kill, because this always happens in the movie, where the last one is always going to be the most difficult one to get to. That's the heroine usually of the film. Maybe it's always. I can't think of a guy that was the last to survive in a Friday the 13th movie. But just have game mechanics that make it make sense, how the movies worked, in the sense that the last one is always going to be the most difficult. They're going to put up the most struggle, have multiple ways, and innovative ways, no end to how many ways you can kill these people, because Jason, Friday the 13th movies, they have some ridiculous shit. My favorite one is actually from Freddy vs. Jason, when he closes the kid up in the bed he just snaps him in half with the bed. That's the best kill that I've seen in a slasher movie. But yeah, I think that would be cool, but I don't want to do a completely random off topic, because my channel is pretty much all about video games. I don't want to ask what's your favorite slasher movie, because a lot of my subscribers are gonna be I don't really watch horror movies, I don't know how to answer this question, and then they don't have a legitimate answer to or entry to the contest. And I want it to be something that is topical, but at the same time, you might not like survival horror games, you might not like horror, stuff like that. So I'm just really kind of stumped on what to do. I've come up with 3 ideas so far that I've decided to go with, and it's just then I think it's just maybe this isn't the best topic. I'll think of a question, one that I was thinking of, just what system or what game company, Sega, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, is basically your go-to system over the years. And that's not really a fair question, because I know a lot of people aren't fanboys, and I'm not a fanboy either, because I have a difficult time answering that question myself. So I was trying to think about it, and it's just back in the day, I used to be a Sega fanboy, a literal Sega fanboy, because I had a Sega Genesis, and my friends up the street had Super Nintendos, and I wanted my system to be better, so I would be unreasonable when it came to like arguing which one was better. I came up with the most ridiculous arguments. Like, I remember arguing about which system was newer, which I believe the Sega Genesis did come out before the Super Nintendo, but my argument was that the Sega Genesis was newer because all they had to do to make the Super Nintendo was just put Super in front of the title. And that wasn't, you know, that couldn't have taken a long time. And looking back, that's like the stupidest argument I've ever had towards anything. But yeah, like throughout the years, like when PlayStation hit, I was definitely a PlayStation fanboy. I did not care about the N64 at all. It's not my favorite system. Like, it hasn't aged well at all. Some of the games on it, at least. Like, some of the games on it are timeless, and I see that, but a lot of the other games, like most of the titles, no interest in ever picking up. GameCube, I was not a big fan of that when it came out. I was about PlayStation 2 already. So, I will have a question to ask in the 50 subscriber contest because I'm going to be thinking about it all day today. And I'll make the video tomorrow morning, hopefully upload it before work. And you can get to replying to that, I guess. Or you could reply, well, you could reply to this, but if you have any ideas, like what you think would be a good question to ask. I don't want to ask something that everybody always asks. Like, what's your favorite game of all time? What's your favorite, you know, I don't know. I'll be thinking about it. Until then, keep it real, Internet.